Hey guys, Kyle and Brandon here with you today. We're going to cover some basic setups of the floor press. But we don't want to just leave you there because the floor press, although it's a very good exercise, not a lot of quality information for you other than do this and don't do that. So we're going to talk about, once we give you a really good setup position, how important it is to learn to maintain tension through the upper body all the way through the hands, that being said, for the floor press, and how that carries over into your bench press and your pin press. Go ahead and lay down for me, if you would, please. So first thing to note here, we're actually in off the safeties of a combo rack. I know the floor press gets prescribed a fair amount and a lot of athletes do it at home, and they may not even have a great position to do it from. So one of the first things we look for in any setup of any bench press is making sure that whatever safeties, J-clips you're taking the barbell off of is not set up so high that the athlete has to reach their shoulder up and out of position. And this is actually a pretty good height for Brandon here. And go ahead and go, I'll leave feet down for now. So you'll notice a couple things. He's set up with his natural arch like you would in his bench press. There's already tension created through the lats here as he's in good position. Most likely we'll get a good brace here and a breath into that brace. And Brandon will unrack that bar. Good, and as he brings the bar down to the floor, so basic setup in your bench press, one of the first things we want to make sure that happens is there's actual tension on the elbows and the triceps, barbell resting solid on this pause position. Go ahead and press back up. This was a really long pause. We obviously don't have to pause that long. Go ahead and unrack again for me. But what we want to highlight is we don't want to bounce the elbows off the floor. Sometimes that can lead to a lopsided press as well. The other thing we don't want to do is stop a little bit short. We already have a reduced range of motion. Let's not make it any worse. Anything to add to basic setup there, Brandon?
Not a whole lot. Just make sure, like you said, not to ruin your shoulder and scapula position by unracking. Make sure it's appropriate rack height.
Yeah, it's again your basic bench press setup. We've harped a lot on elbow position underneath the barbell. It's going to be the exact same as your bench press as you lower the bar. It's just going to stop a little bit shorter. Now, let's get into the meat and potatoes today. Go ahead and bring feet up. So our goal for you is to learn to maintain tensions through the torso, if you will, but actually the whole body. If we were to lay with legs straight in the floor press, we're going to take out rooting of our feet and our whole leg, whole lower limb, and its ability to aid in tension with the upper body. This is why it can be such a beneficial movement. The only other thing we could do is say a feet up bench press or a feet up floor press, so we're not getting any leg drive while we create tension. The problem with that, it's probably going to be a fairly lightened movement. Because we're reducing the range of motion here, we'll be able to overload without that leg drive. So before we unrack here, we're going to do our same quality setup. I'm going to have Brandon root his feet, engage his legs here, and I'll check him a couple times so you guys can see the tension that he's creating. Go ahead and give me a good unrack. Now we have tension all the way created here through the body. You can see rigidity through here, just like if I checked him on a bench press. Lower that down to a good press position, and when you're ready, nice tension everywhere. Going to press back up and rack it. You can see the difference in force there as well. Now straighten your legs for me if you would, please. Now the goal is going to be, for lack of better terms, I'm really going to have him think about almost rooting from his glutes, because this doesn't exist. So we're locking in tension from the hips up through the torso into the lats. Same way we would be in the bench press, just skipping this one last time. So good unrack for me when you're ready. Yeah, nice maintaining tension. And right away you can see that tension's maintained there. Pull bar down. And press. Good, rack. Let you catch your breath here for a minute because you were working hard, maintaining all that tension. Now just give me a couple reps. You don't have to bounce them off the floor. But don't worry about creating so much tension. Just push up and down for me. Not a bad looking press as far as it's in good alignment. There's just no tension created here. Go ahead and rack it for me. And sit on up if you want to. The problem here is this doesn't carry over into our competition movement or a good solid heavy set of bench press in the gym, keeping our shoulders safe. Anything to add there, Brandon?
To make sure that it has the most carryover, let's go ahead and try to mimic the same arch we would in actual competition bench style. Also making sure that we're in that nice stacked position in the bottom, no deviations there at all.
So here's a couple tips for you to fine tune the unrack and the actual floor press. But more importantly, other than just unracking and bringing a bar down to position a couple inches above your chest, pressing off the floor, make sure that it carries over into your regular bench press, competition or not, by maintaining tension through the upper body.